football fans, welcome back to Diary TV channel. I'm Ogene Carol Asowe, and if you are as obsessed with transfer rumors and football drama as I am, you are in for a treat today. We're diving deep into one of the hottest stories in football right now. Is Chelsea really Victor Osimhen's boyhood club? For months, fans and pundits have been speculating about Nigerian superstars' connection to the Blues, fueled by old photos and his well-known admiration for Chelsea legend Didier Drogba. But a new report has dropped with some truth that may surprise you. As of today, we got the latest gist, updates, fresh insights, and all the juicy updates to unpack. So grab a drink, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. We're breaking this down into segments to cover every angle of this fascinating story. Alright, let's start at the root of this story. For a while now, there's been this narrative floating around that Chelsea's football club was Victor Osimhen's boyhood club. If you are a Chelsea fan, that's probably got you hype, dreaming of Osimhen's pulling on the blue jersey at Stamford Bridge. But hold up. A recent report from sources published just yesterday on April 29, 2025 has thrown cold water on that idea. According to their findings, the claim that Chelsea was Osimhen's childhood team is well inaccurate. Yes, you heard that right. It's not quite the fairy tale connection we thought. So where does this idea even come from? It all seemed to trace back to a single piece of evidence, an old photo of a young Victor Osimhen rocking a Chelsea jersey. Now, if you're picturing a starry-eyed kid pledging his heart to the blue, pump the brakes. Back in the early 2000s in Nigeria, wearing European club jersey was a massive trend. Kids would sport Manchester United, Arsenal, Barcelona, or even Chelsea kits, not because they were die-hard fans, but because those shirts were cool, accessible, and often just what was available in local markets. That Chelsea jersey Osimhen wore, it was likely more about style than loyalty. This cultural context is super important. Growing up in Lagos, Osimhen was surrounded by a football-crazy community where European clubs were idolized. But supporting a team wasn't always about deep allegiance. It was about celebrating the sport, the players, and the vibe. So that photo doesn't prove Osimhen was chanting "blue is the color" as a kid. Instead, it's a snapshot of a Nigerian football culture where wearing a Premier League jersey was as common as a pair of sneakers. That misunderstanding has fueled years of speculation, but the truth is starting to cut through the noise. Let's move on to the next piece of this puzzle. Osimhen's real connection to Chelsea, which isn't about the club itself, but one of its greatest ever players. There is one name that keeps popping up in this story, is Didier Drogba. Victor Osimhen has never been shy about his admiration for the Ivorian legend, and for good reason. Drogba, Chelsea all-time fourth highest goal scorer and two-time African Footballer of the Year, is a hero across Africa, especially in Nigeria. Osimhen has called Drogba his football idols, and that connection has been well documented over the years. But here is the key. Osimhen's love for Drogba doesn't mean he was a Chelsea fan growing up. Let me break it down. Drogba's impact transcends Chelsea. When he was banging in goals at Stamford Bridge, winning the Champions League in 2012, or leading Ivory Coast to glory, he wasn't just a Chelsea star, he was an African icon. For a young Osimhen growing up in tough Olusolu neighborhood of Lagos, Drogba represented what was possible. A kid from West Africa could rise from humble beginnings to dominate European football. Osimhen has spoken about how Drogba's power, pace, and clinical finishing inspired him to model his own game. He even shared story of waking up to Instagram messages from Drogba offering advice and encouragement. But admiring Drogba and supporting Chelsea are two different things. The report makes it clear. There is no evidence Osimhen was a Chelsea supporter as a kid. His connection to the Blue begins and ends with his respect for Drogba. Nigerian journalist Buchi Laba, who is close to Osimhen, doubled down on this in a recent statement. He said, and I quote, "This talk about Chelsea being Osimhen's boyhood club is false. Never his boyhood club. Only thing that is right is Drogba being his mentor." That's a pretty definitive clarification, and it shut down the idea that Osimhen was dreaming of Stamford Bridge as a kid. So, if he wasn't a Chelsea fan, what does this mean for the transfer rumor linking him to the Premier League? Let's dive into that next. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Victor Osimhen's future. As of today, the transfer rumors mill is still in overdrive and Chelsea's name keeps popping up. Fans are desperate to know if Osimhen, one of the world's best strikers, could finally make a move to the English Premier League. But here is the twist. Despite all the buzz, recent reports suggest that Osimhen isn't exactly jumping at the chance to join Chelsea or any other Premier League clubs right now. Let's rewind a bit. Last summer, Osimhen was at the center of a transfer saga that had everyone on edge. Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, and even Saudi clubs like Al Ahly were linked to the Napoli star. There was a talk of a £63 million release clause, meetings with Chelsea rep, and even Drogba and John Obi Mikel reportedly trying to convince him to join the Blues. But when push came to shove, the deals fell apart. Chelsea's wage offer didn't meet Osimhen's expectation, and Napoli's demand was sky high. In the end, Osimhen made a chalk move to Galatasaray on a season-long loan, but boy has he been lighting it up in Turkey. Today, Osimhen's stats at Galatasaray are ridiculous. He has scored 31 goals in 36 appearances across all competitions. That is 16 in the Turkish Super League, 6 in the European League, and a bunch in domestic cups. He's been a one-man wrecking crew, helping Galatasaray chase a league and cup double. His performances has only fueled more transfer talk, with Chelsea reportedly stepping up efforts to sign him for the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. But here is the kicker. Osimhen seems pretty content in Istanbul. After a recent game, he told Galatasaray website, "I'm enjoying myself right now. The fans have been incredibly supportive and focusing on fighting for the 5th star with my team." This doesn't sound like a guy packing his bags for London. Buchi Laba, the insider we mentioned earlier, also confirmed that Osimhen rejected January 2025 offers to stay with Galatasaray for the full season. Even with a €75 million release clause in his Napoli's contract, Osimhen is not rushing to the Premier League. Now, don't get me wrong. He has spoken before about his dream to play in England, and his admiration for Drogba and Mikel makes Chelsea a romantic fit. But right now, his focus is on winning trophy with Galatasaray and enjoying the moment. So, Chelsea fans, you might need to wait until the summer of 2025 for this saga to heat up again. Let's move on to the next segment and explore what Osimhen's journey tells us about his character and career. To really understand Victor Osimhen and why this boyhood club story matters, we need to zoom out and look at his incredible journey. This is a guy who defied the odds to become one of the best strikers in the world, and his story puts all this Chelsea chatter into perspective. Born on December 29, 1998 in Lagos, Nigeria, Osimhen grew up in Olusosun, a tough neighborhood near a landfill. His mother passed away while he was young, and his family relied on his older brother selling newspaper to get by. Osimhen's first football boots, he bought them at a dump site. That's the kind of grit we are talking about. Despite these challenges though, Osimhen's talent shone through. He caught the world attention at the 2015 FIFA U17 World Cup, scoring 10 goals to lead Nigeria to the title. From there, he moved on to Europe, starting at VfL Wolfsburg, then Charleroi, then LOSC Lille, where he bagged 18 goals in a single season. In 2020, Napoli splashed a club record €90 million to sign him, and Osimhen repaid them with 26 goals in the 2022-23 season, leading Napoli to their first Serie A title in 33 years. He became the first Nigeria to win African Footballer of the Year award since 1999, and he even finished 8th in the 2023 Ballon d'Or. That is why the Boyhood club debate is such a big deal. Osimhen's story isn't just about football, it's about resilience, ambition, and staying true to its roots. The idea that he was a Chelsea fan as a kid would add a poetic layer to his potential transfer, but the truth is, his admiration for Drogba was about the player and not the club. Osimhen's focus has always been on carving his own path, not chasing childhood dreams tied to a specific team. His current form at Galatasaray, 31 goals in 36 games, show that he is still writing his story and is doing it on his own terms. Let's wrap this up with some final thoughts on what this means for Osimhen's future. So, what have we learned today? The claim that Chelsea was Victor Osimhen's boyhood club is a myth born from a misread photo and some wishful thinking. That old Chelsea jersey he wore as a kid, just a fashion statement, not a declaration of a fandom. His real connection to the Blues is to Didier Drogba, his idol and mentor, whose influence shaped Osimhen's game but didn't make him a Chelsea supporter. Thanks to the clarifications, we've got the truth as of today, April 30th, 2025. Osimhen's heart wasn't set on Stamford Bridge growing up. That doesn't mean Chelsea are out of the picture. Transfer rumors are still swirling, with the Blues, Arsenal, Manchester United, and even Juventus circling. Osimhen's €75 million release clause and his insane form at Galatasaray, 31 goals in 36 games, makes him one of the most sought-after strikers in the world. Yet, he has made it clear that he is happy in Turkey for now, focused on winning trophy and soaking up the love from Galatasaray's fan. Will he move to the Premier League in the summer of 2025? Maybe, but Osimhen is calling the shots and is not one to be rushed. This story reminds us of how easy narratives can take hold in football. A single photo can spark years of speculation, but digging into context like Nigerian football culture or Osimhen's own word gives us a clearer picture. For now, Osimhen is living his dream, scoring goals and honoring his idol Drogba with every strike. Wherever he ends up, he is already a legend in the making. And that's all for today, folks. What do you think? Will Victor Osimhen ever join Chelsea, or is he destined for another club? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button and subscribe for more football deep dives. Hit that button so you don't miss our next videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, keep loving the beautiful game.